let's talk about a natural way to stop smoking tobacco. If you struggle with tobacco, you are not alone. This is a very common problem and it's a very addictive substance. So, you're not the only one looking to try and put that down, but there are ways in which you can do this using nature. We don't have to go and look for chemicals or patches or things that can actually do more damage in your body. When you're looking to make a change off tobacco, you want to help support your body, not give it chemicals that also hurt it. So, let's talk about ideas that can do this. The number one thing I'm going to talk about is this awesome herb called lobelia. So, lobelia is this guy right here. Nope. Well, lobelia is a great herb that actually works like nicotine in the body. The brain reads it the same way, and it helps to stimulate, kind of like tobacco does. So lobelia is an amazing herb to get to know when you're ready to transition off tobacco. Here's the thing, a little bit goes a long way. You can do it in a tea, clean up the lungs, because it is a great way to clean and repair the lungs that tobacco has, all the damage tobacco has done. Does it do it completely? No. Does the herb itself do it? No. It supports your body's lungs' natural detox pathways to do it and clean up itself. But it is great. And you can either drink it in a tea, you can smoke it, and you can also do it in tincture form. But the key to lobelia is to do it in small doses, because a higher dose will make you very sick. You'll know immediately. So with lobelia, you're going to mix it with other things. And we're going to talk about other things you can mix that with in a bit. I actually kind of want to jump in a little bit to how do we clean the lungs when we've stopped smoking. There are a lot of things that can help with that. And one of the things I like to grab is aloe vera juice, believe it or not. So aloe vera juice is an anti-inflammatory, and it goes in and kind of heal and clear out the lungs and lung damage and actually help open lung airways. It'll also help as a little bit of an expectorant, clearing the junk out of the lungs, which is very, very helpful. And it repairs those irritated tissues. That's what it's known for doing. Aloe vera juice you can blend with other things. One of the things I would blend it with would be parsley in juice form. So if you get fresh parsley and you can juice it and add that juice to a little bit of aloe vera juice and drink it, you have a pretty good concoction going. You want to go even deeper because yes, parsley is also going to clean the lungs, also is an expectorant, and will help get the gunk out of there. You can add cayenne. Add a pinch of cayenne in there, and now you have that stimulant response in the body that you're used to from the nicotine, but this is actually a stimulant that's an anti-inflammatory that will also go and do some repair. It helps with mucus expulsion, so it will get rid of more mucus and junk that has been built up in the lungs over years of damage. So, a great little concoction would be to juice your parsley, put your aloe vera juice in it. How much aloe vera juice? If you have about 8 ounces of parsley juice, I put about 4 ounces of aloe vera juice to that and a pinch of cayenne. Drink this concoction up. Very helpful to start healing and clearing everything out. So how else can we clear out the lungs once we've stopped smoking? And yes, we'll talk about how to do it in a minute. But let's talk about what we can do. Well, you can do something called an herbal lung steam. These are very, very helpful. An herbal lung steam will go in and actually do a couple of things for you. Yes, it'll go in and repair, but it'll also help give you a little bit of that sensation of the stimulant that you get from nicotine. So an herbal lung steam, I would take equal parts of eucalyptus dried leaf, peppermint dried leaf, and spearmint dried leaf. Equal parts of that together, mixed up with just a drop of peppermint essential oil and a drop of essential oil in there. When you mix that together, you have a pretty good concoction that you can save on the shelf and use when you need it. When you're ready to do a lung steam, I would take maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of a cup of that mixture and put it in hot boiling water in a big old bowl. Then you want to get a towel and put it over your head and the bowl and breathe in the steam. So what that's going to do is help these herbs that go and repair lungs to do some work. It's also going to give you that stimulant feeling that your lungs are used to as you're transitioning them away from that stimulant feeling. This will really help with both things, so a little bit with cravings and a little bit with cleaning. How long do you do this? I would do it somewhere around 5 to 15 minutes, depending. You'll notice it's still warm and you can sit and still breathe it in. It's actually very relaxing. So how do we transition off tobacco? Because it is a monster, as we know. Because in the brain, it keeps you addicted. It keeps you wanting more. That's what it does. Tobacco goes and stimulates the part of the brain that says, I need more, keep it coming. How do we change that? A lot of people will start transitioning by getting rolled tobacco, like organic American Spirit, and then take about half tobacco and half other herbs, a mixture of other herbs, and roll their own cigarettes. Then slowly make it where it's only 1/4 tobacco and 3/4 herbs. Before you know it, you have nothing but herbs that you're smoking and cleaning your lungs until you get rid of that habit altogether of doing this. But while you're transitioning, you can use these herbs. So what herb mixture would you do? Well, there's a lot of herbs that you can actually smoke that people aren't aware of that you can pop into this mixture. Of course, I'm going to say lobelia because, like I said before, it will stimulate the part of the brain just the same as tobacco without hurting or damaging your lungs, instead repairing it. But you're only going to do a small amount of lobelia in your mixture. Other herbs that you could work with would be herbs like mullein. Mullein is a great lung cleanser and very relaxing and good to actually smoke. There are other herbs that you can smoke depending on what you're looking for from it. Some people are looking for more of a stimulant, which is what you need, and other people, as you go, may be looking for something more relaxing. So you can actually smoke uva ursi. You can smoke peppermint for a lift or a pick-me-up. You can smoke lavender for something more chill. You can smoke mugwort, that's also very chill. And you can smoke damiana, that's a little more of a pick-me-up. You can smoke thyme. Yeah, they're herb that you cook with. So these are ideas of things you can play with. I like using mulleins in a big portion and then popping in some of those others in smaller portion. Lavender you can do in big portion, but peppermint is really spicy and can hit the throat, so do less of it. This kind of gives you an idea as how you can start playing around with other natural herbs that you can smoke instead of tobacco, or transition off the tobacco using more of those herbs. So once you have transitioned off a lot more off of this habit and you're just doing the herbal cigarettes and now you want to do this less or get rid of it altogether, what else can you do for oral fixation? One of the things I love to do is take black pepper essential oil. And I know this is going to sound strange, but it's very helpful. You want to take 1 drop in the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, and then you're going to cup your hands over your mouth and face. Breathe in, and you'll continue to do this as long as you can smell it, because that black pepper essential oil will do 2 things. One, it kind of gives you the same stimulating sensation as tobacco does. Also reduces the cravings for it. So you're doing 2 things at once while using the black pepper essential oil. We call this a hand nebulizer. You can do this at any time, and you can keep the black pepper essential oil in a pocket and pull it out anytime you need it, at your desk at work, anytime you need it, and it's very, very helpful. The The other thing that I think is helpful is to take cinnamon essential oil and put just one drop on a wooden toothpick, and then you can sit and kind of chew on that toothpick. It's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be, wow, light up the mouth, whoo, a lot. But that's also gonna help to kind of transfer the oral fixation and the stimulant to something different. And it's a little healthier. It actually is great for mouth and tooth and gum healing, and it'll give you that stimulant feeling that you need. And then it's something that is a little more satisfying for those cravings that you've had before. Another thing that you can do is chew gum. I highly recommend looking at gums that are more natural. There's a lot of companies out there that make them, but you can get a mint stimulant or cinnamon, something that's more about a pick-me-up that you used to get from the tobacco, and that will help quite a bit. If you get a good quality natural gum, then it doesn't add all the sugar that a lot of people switch over to. You can also do mints. Make sure that it's a more natural mint in a peppermint or something spicy and stimulant. That's very, very helpful because you can suck on it very slowly over time. I know other people talk about getting candies, hard candies to suck on them, but now we're adding sugar and you don't necessarily need that. So you can find natural mint. There is a company called St. Clair's, and they have a little bit better mints, that you can look at, or spry gum and mints. They have things that are a little bit better options for ingredients that you can try out. Especially in social settings, this may help you. The other thing you can do for oral fixation is look at crunchy foods. So this may be like carrot sticks, celery sticks. Sunflower seeds are great because they're meticulous, where you sit and you're, unshelling each one. And it gives you something to do hand to mouth while shifting off of the other tobacco craving. And then you have that habit of hand to mouth that's actually in a healthy setting and not all the sugar that other people seems to do. Another thing I like to do is a hands-on thing like herbal tea. So you can actually switch out the smoke break for an herbal tea break, and you're still doing hand-to-mouth things, and find relaxing teas that you can switch over to, or flavored water. That's another thing that may not be your normal thing that you usually do, so it's something new to pop in, kind of new, knowing I'm doing something healthy and supportive for my body, but also still doing something for the hand-to-mouth thing. Something else you can do is relieving stress by using stress balls. You know how people use those to fixate on, it keeps your hands busy. Even fidget tools and toys. Those are great to keep your hands busy so that you're not wanting to do this, right? Especially during stressful moments. So let's talk about calming the nervous system, because that is what really gets triggered with those stimulants. And also, when you go to get off of tobacco, oftentimes people get anxious and moody, right? So we want to kind of address that, because with those withdrawal can really cause that moodiness, anxiety, irritability, restlessness. So you want to be able to look at nervine herbs that can help with that. Some of the nervine herbs I was talking about you can smoke. Others you can make a great tea with. So lemon balm, great relaxing tea. It's actually in the mint family, not going to be spicy like mint. Very relaxing and calming, but not so relaxing that it puts you to sleep. We like that. Skullcap, American skullcap, is another great nervine you can make tea out of to relax. Passion flower, chamomile, lavender. You can try all of these, holy basil even. These will not put you to sleep, but it may take the edge off that irritability, moodiness that you want to switch. So let's talk about some relaxation practices that you can put in place. You can try some meditation. Adding this at night is really going to help. I also encourage people to try megahertz music or binaural beat music. So during the day, maybe while you're at work, you can play a megahertz music to help you stop smoking. If you just Google on YouTube, megahertz music to stop smoking. It will just be a beautiful sound, relaxing music that nobody's gonna have any idea what that's doing, but it uses very specific sound frequencies to help calm your nervous system and irritability and help also with those cravings. You can also look up binaural beat music to do the same thing at night for relaxation, but that requires headphones. You can also use the megahertz music for something to really help you to do positive affirmations. When you go to make a change, you need to be your own encourager, right? Work on deep breathing exercises because you're going to need to retrain the lungs and breathing because over years your lungs will take a hit and you need to work on expanding lungs in a different way with air and breath. So breath work can be very, very helpful. On that note, yoga, tai chi, stretching is all going to help with the lungs and help move the body in slow ways that are very, very helpful and stress relieving. Light exercise can do the same thing too. Just going for walks can help with the nervousness and the irritability. Popping into the gym to try a whole different habit can actually improve your mood. So this is also very, very helpful. You want to look at switching out your smoke breaks for herbal tea breaks, right? Like we said, something else you can do. Try journaling your cravings. So maybe at night you have a routine and you sit down and when you notice when you're having a craving, start journaling about it and look for a pattern. Once you see patterns, you can start to recognize them faster in the moment and know, ooh, I need to grab my black pepper or something like that. Also try doing different things that will help to give you more support. So lean on friends, family for support. If you can't find support that way, go online. There are tons of forums and chat groups that'll definitely help you and other people doing the same thing. So just remember, your body starts to repair itself within hours of your last tobacco cigarette. So that is a good way to remember to stay on track and get back to healing because like I always say, natural healing is totally doable.